Hello, this is my third weekly comp. Today is the 5th of April, and this is the weekly comp for the week April 7th to April 11th. So, let's talk about last week quickly. Last week, what we're expecting is for this weekly candle to not take this high and continue lower towards this weekly range and ultimately the 20-week low, which was this low. And my quarterly bias, which I said last week, was the 3-month low as well, which is this one. So if we check the weekly calendar for next week, we can see that we have FOMC meeting minutes, but this isn't the real FOMC statement, so I'm not too worried about this. We can see that we have CPI on Thursday, and on Friday we have the PPI. So for this, I will be trading after the news as usual. I don't like to entertain news like this. But if we look at a weekly calendar, we can see that the Monday and Tuesday we don't have any news. So we can expect a Thursday, Friday expansion, and we can expect a consolidation or manipulation early on in the week for the expansion to happen. So if we look at the charts, as I said, last week's prediction was correct perfectly. Apart from, I did say it was going to be a big move as usual on NFP weeks. However, I didn't expect to be this big. Like, this was an NFP week. It was big as well, but I didn't expect it to go past the 20 weeks straight into the 3-month low and 3-month high in euro. So as you can see, on euro it's already been taken, but on the DXY it hasn't. So we'll have to see if this is a SMT or it might just continue lower. So what do I expect for next week? I expect manipulation higher into this gap we have created on the Thursday. Something potentially like this. Open up Monday, create a high in here, a high in here, higher high, and to try continue lower into the 3-month and yearly low. That's what I will be expecting for next week. Something like this. I don't expect this high to be taken or this high. I just expect the Thursday's high to be taken, but the Wednesday high to stay intact. Somewhere from this gap, I expect us to start our expansion lower, especially as we're in the last quarter of the range. So, yeah. If we take a look at euro on the daily, right now, as DXY has taken this high, but euro hasn't, and we're trading inside of this, I'll be looking to trade from either this low or this low, depending at the time and where we are in the market. But that's where I'll be looking to trade higher from, as I never trade inside candles. Like, let's say this is the candle I'm looking to trade. As you can see, the low hasn't been purged, the high hasn't been purged, so I'm not looking to trade. If we also look at GBP, we can see we have created a weekly range lower, but I don't expect this to complete. I expect when DXY takes Thursday's high, I'll be expecting this to create something like this. As every range doesn't have to be completed, we can see something like this. So to move lower, create a lower low, and that will be enough for the range to be completed. It doesn't always have to take this. So we can move higher from here. As my next targets On the GBP, it's the 3-month high, which we failed to take, which is quite fast though, around 500 pips. On Euro, it's the previous yearly high, as we can see, 250 pips, 12 months. Yep, this high. And the same on the DXY. Okay, one thing I wanted to mention last week. Even though my bias was correct to go lower, as you can see on the Thursday, I couldn't entertain the market. You can see here, when Trump was speaking about the tariffs, we just started exploding lower, no retracement. Especially when I woke up for London session on the Thursday. Especially when I woke up for the London session, we were already quite low. It was like the DXY was up like 1% or something. No, down 1%. So I couldn't really entertain the market, especially as how big it was. As you can see here to here, it's like, yeah, 1.55% minus. So I just let the Thursday go, traded the Friday under retracement to this gap, which was clean. But the Thursday, even though my bias was right, end of the week expansion, I couldn't entertain the move. But yeah, for this quarter, my next target will be the yearly.